Hello everybody, this is Imran Jamil back with another video. I made my first video about a week ago on a particular subject regarding somebody's comments that kind of annoyed me, but then I wasn't sure whether I wanted to continue this or not. However, I realized that there are so many other aspects that we can actually talk about and add some value to our lives by making it simpler if possible. One such aspect that always strikes me is the pursuit of happiness. It seems to be the biggest dilemma to me because everybody's running after it, yet nobody seems to find it. So why is it so difficult? Is it one size fits all solution? Absolutely not. Is it tied to success directly? Maybe. In some cases, depends on what the person's mindset is. What is success to you is different from what is success to me. So again, individual mindset comes to play here. And then I realized that even though it's not a one size fits all solution, yet there are certain practices that we can adopt in our lives that probably pave the way for us to do the best, because it's a battle between expectations and reality. It is also a battle between possibility and probability. Possibility of something good or bad happening is always there, but what is the probability of something happening or not is dependent on our own efforts. So we have some control over reducing or increasing the probability based on how we perceive it. So I came up with this list of expectations and some realities that I personally feel will help understanding the overall dilemma, and maybe adapting some of those practices can help us look at life in a different way, because it's all about conditioning one's mind and heart. And happiness is a state of mind. Some people who have it all are not happy. Some people who have very limited means are very happy. So that tells you that money or materialism is not the only source of happiness. It's a good add-on. So let's look at some of these slides and some of those factors that we have come up with. First, expectations. The first expectation is that we want our lives to be ideal, without worries, without any hurdles, without anything. The next is a birthright. We think that happiness is a birthright. If we are born in this world, we have to be happy. We don't want to attain it. It should be given to us. That's an expectation. Again, you can expect anything. Then psychological freedom or sovereignty. We want to be free. I mean, we want to make our own decisions. We want to have our own visions and live by those visions. That's an expectation. Again, inner peace. One of the most important aspects of finding happiness is if you're at peace internally, then there's very little that disturbs your mindset, because good and bad things continue to happen. But if you're at peace with yourself, then yeah, it can be a big blessing. So inner peace is absolutely one of the single most important component in this exercise, I would say. Financial stability. We all want to be financially stable. We don't want to worry about finances. That's an expectation. Social freedom. We want to live by our own rules. We don't want to follow anybody else's rules or to be dictated by anyone else. But the reality is, if we live in a society, we're going to have to abide by certain rules and regulations. So the next one is no stress. Now, I haven't found anybody who doesn't have any stress in life. So that's an expectation. Now let's look at some of the realities and see how they align with some of those. Okay, now let's look at some other realities. Factors of happiness. Faith. You gotta have faith. Religion, in my view, provides one of the most comprehensive set of recipes and guidance to come out of bad situations, to have inner peace, to train one's heart and mind to be strong. Then have self-belief. You can do it. Align it with your faith. Self-contentment. Be content with what you have. Don't worry about what you do not have. That brings in negative energy, so stay away from it. Train yourself to think like that. Self-control. Don't indulge in activities that bring you stress and tension. Discipline. Discipline is a very effective way to apply all of the above in your life. So be disciplined. Try to work on it. Goal orientation. Have some short-term and long-term goals. Whatever your philosophies of life are, have the preparation done based on the realities and resources that you have. Then plan them accordingly in stages, in phases, so that you have short-term and long-term goals, and then you have plans in phases so you can have a smoother path. Prioritization. Definitely prioritize based on, we are talking about happiness over here. So needs take the precedence. Prioritize according to the needs first. Then focus. Don't lose focus. Don't get distracted. Consistency. Don't start off something like a New Year's resolution and by the end of January forget about it. No. Consistent. Be consistent. Do little, but be consistent. And then follow up. Okay, let's look at the requirements now. We talked about factors, and now these are the requirements which will help working on those factors. So have to have positive mindset. Avoid negativity at all costs. Again, training of heart and mind comes to play here. It's an exercise. Control over wants versus needs. Self-control, we already talked about it. So these are the requirements now that you must start fulfilling. Availability of resources. Take actions accordingly. Know your resources. You can work on increasing them. But when you take a decision, take the decisions based on the current situation. Drive and motivation. Have the urge to improve your life and find your motivation, whether it's for family, community, business, profession, whatever it is. We are talking about happiness. That's the objective over here. And then be dedicated to it. Because if you're motivated, dedication will come through focus. You cannot lose focus and expect to be dedicated to a particular cause, especially if it's not a smooth sailing. Resilience. Don't give up. Continue trying. Okay, last but not the least, dependencies. Everybody's situation is different, we already mentioned that. Lack of level playing field. No head start. Some people have it all. They get a big head start. You don't have it. What do? Complain about it? No. You're going to have to take 10 extra steps to be in that situation, maybe. Then, if you want to proceed further in profession or education or any of those aspects, you have to work again according to your reality and be content that, okay, you know what, you're in a particular situation, you're not in competition with anybody else but yourself. That's the main point we have to drive from this. Lack of direction. Which direction do you want to go? You want peace in life? It's a separate path. You want success in profession, you want success in business, that's a tougher path. It's going to have a lot more stress, a lot. So you have to decide. Success directly is not associated with happiness. It can be if your definition of success is that as long as you're able to fulfill your responsibilities in life, you're good. And that's success for you. Money is not directly related to success in this respect of happiness. Lack of resources, financial constraints and means. These are all dependencies, right? Now you want to do certain things, you're not able to do it because of lack of resources. It's not going to feel good. Goes back to contentment. So again, factors, requirements, and dependencies are all very closely tied together. And expectations must be aligned according to them. That's why they are realities. Primary responsibilities, family, bills, education, sometimes, those are constraints. Those are dependencies. Individual challenges, age, health. I mean, a person who could be very motivated but has health issues, then he has to obviously revisit and rethink and replan. So again, that's what I had for today. As you can see, this is a very subjective matter. And each aspect of this presentation can have multiple sessions. And I'm probably going to do some of them. I just need your feedback and see where what your definition of success, what's your definition of happiness is, which aspects do you relate to in this, and which aspects you don't. I also shared Abraham Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Please revisit that and look at that and let us know. Thank you so much.